All right, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. You'll be all hungover from turkey and wine and whatever else you have Thanksgiving for dinner. And Friday, you're just going to lounge around, watch some college football, bet some college football. And Friday begins with Ohio and Buffalo. Ohio, 6.5-point road favorites, 44.5 the total here in this game. Again, it's important to note here with this matchup that we talked last week, Ohio and Buffalo were both still alive to make the MAC championship game. Only Ohio is alive now. Buffalo got eliminated last week, so Ohio can still get in. They're 5-2, but obviously they need a win, and they need things to go involved with. There's a bunch of tiebreaker scenarios, too many to name, but Ohio can give themselves a chance to be in the MAC championship game with a win, and we'll have to see what happens with Toledo, Central Michigan, and Miami, Ohio. The other team's tied at 5-2 right now in conference play. But obviously this game means everything for Ohio if they want to try to get back to the MAC championship game and want to try to repeat as MAC champions. So we'll see. That doesn't mean I'm rushing to lay 6.5 necessarily because it is final home game for Buffalo. The problem is Buffalo just continues to disappoint, over and over again. They've not been the team I think a lot of us expected this season. We expected a little bit better out of them, and for them to just get carved up at home, that's why I have a hard time buying into the angle of Buffalo's going to show up for their last home game. Well, they played at home last week, and they lost 37-20. Their defense got ripped apart by a guy that could barely complete a forward pass, Henry Hessen, the week before that against Toledo when he took over for idiot there, DeQuan Finn, who just decided to leave the team to prepare for an NFL draft where he's going to be lucky if he even gets drafted. Make that make sense. But nevertheless, Henry Essen was terrible against Toledo, and there he is ripping apart that that Buffalo defense last week, 37 points. So not good. Maybe an over here because 44.5, Ohio's going to move the football and put up points. UMass's offense, kind of had success last week, even a little bit moving on Ohio. So maybe we'll get points. Here's my concern, though, with the over, and it's actually why the under's taking money. 14-mile-an-hour wind, 60% rain for Buffalo in the forecast on Friday. So that might temper the enthusiasm. But, yeah, it's hard for me to bet Buffalo here. It really is. It's a terrible game at home against Miami. I know there's that incentive to maybe play spoiler, keep Ohio out of the MAC title game, but their defense has given up 37 to Henry Essen. What are they going to give up to Parker Navarro and a pretty good Ohio offense? That's what concerns me. C-Mac, what do you think here, Ohio, Buffalo?
It does concern me a little bit. I think the defense has, struggled a little bit and regressed the last, 3 or 4 weeks. Because early on, even those games that they lost, when they were home earlier against Troy, they lost by 4. UConn, they lost by 3. I think that could be a similar type game here. Shout out to the chat, my guy Matty Ice. What up, my dude? FB Gotti, everyone in here. Papa Ricky, appreciate you guys. But yeah, I mean, this team wants to go bowling here. One thing, Roberson's, as I look through all these teams and he just turns the ball over. It seems like at least once a game. I mean, there's just always a pick. He had 4 in that horrible game at home against where they lost to Akron 24-16. So they got to take care of the ball. We know Navarro, as talented as he is, he can make mistakes. And one thing, as much as this Ohio offense is pretty good, I don't think they have the best defense. You know what I mean? They give up 155 on the ground. Buffalo, I think, will be able to move it. So I think the game's tight. I'm leaning Buffalo here at home. I like to have the touchdown. This is just kind of a weight. We talk about this a lot. Seems like we've had a lot of 6s, 6.5s, or 9.5s in games lately. That's how books know what they're doing here. But I'm leaning that way. Buffalo.
All right.